Oh. Hello everybody, and welcome to Sonic 06. We're running Silver No Credits Work. I'm Labrys, and joining me on comms is Labrys. Yeah. So, this game is one heck of a ride. It plays very differently from the casual playthrough and uses a bunch of physics-oriented exploits to zoom through the levels at maximum speed. So
can they hear Reverie now?
Yeah, they can.
Awesome. Yeah, so we're still very, very funny, a lot of unintentional things happening. But it's really sick.
Alright, so time will start in 3, 2, 1, go.
Oh, Drywall says please make Rev a decent bit louder.
I got it.
Awesome. Thankfully the load times are long enough to do shit in between stages.
Yeah. We're playing this on the Xbox 360 version. PS3 is a bit slower for Silver, and we'll get to why and later in ways. But for now, we're gonna let this one explain itself. This is 2 minutes of casual gameplay.
Yeah, and we just kind of completed in like 15 seconds. No big deal. It's a very common theme with Silver that you just kind of ignore level design and win. That specific trick you'll be seeing literally everywhere. Basically, you stand so far down on an object that when you pick it up and throw it, the game can't properly force you off of the object, so you kind of fly with it. It is extremely easy to pick up and extremely versatile, as you might expect. So it's used pretty much literally any chance we can. So we're going to do the exact same thing here, and we're going to reposition ourselves mid-flight so that we can turn and go straight to the load trigger. And you might have saw Lab hold X on the rock there to charge the stun slap. What that does is it buffers an X input on the first frame that he's loading in here, so that he can do a Fire Claw as Blaze and instantly swap back to Silver. We were supposed to play as Blaze in that section. We skipped her. And then one more telethrow, and then we are done with Crisis City. Pretty perfectly sets up what we're going to be doing basically the whole run.
Except for the bomb. Also, that 1-up count. You'll see on load into the first boss, it was 1 with 6 lives instead of 5.
Yeah, it's very convenient. If you switch characters and then don't hit a checkpoint and then hit the goal ring, the game just kind of doesn't know what character you are, so it doesn't know what goal ring animation to play, so it just kind of lets you play on the results screen. It's very cool. This boss, Iblis 1, is cyclic, and therefore if you mess up pretty much at all, you're losing a lot of time. So there are 4 cycles. Every cycle is 3 hits. We're going to get the first 2 cycles pretty much immediately. So 1, 2, 3, pick them up, throw them at him. Another annoying thing with this boss is he has iframes. So if you throw objects too quickly, the hits just won't count. So we need to stagger our hits a bit. So that's cycle 2. Lab is going to pick up 3 objects to try to get an extra cycle. If he doesn't, it's no big deal. If he does, he saves about 3 seconds. Let's see, that's 1. Oh, he missed 1 hit, so we're going to have to play the 3rd cycle as normal, and we're going to use the Cocoa Puffs that he just threw to do the 4th cycle.
Nice and chocolatey.
1, 2, 3. Very clean.
Not bad.
Yeah, if he A lot of things can go wrong with those Cocoa Puffs, the little balls that he threw at us. They can uh, explode into each other. They can hit each other on their collision course to Iblis and not count at all. Um, so you may look like you have a lot of hits, but sometimes they just say "fuck you" and they all disappear. So, and if you miss that, you lose like 30 seconds. It's great.
Awesome. Thankfully that didn't happen.
Yeah, that was a good 43 without bonus cycles. Pretty good. And now we have some hub world movement. Silver has just been transported into the uh, back into the past, into the present, I guess. Um, and this is the one of the few hubs where we actually telethrow in. There are some rocks that are very, very conveniently placed, and they're only placed in this one hub world. Like this is the only version of Soliana Forest that these rocks are placed, which is very unfortunate. Because these would be very useful later in the game, but unfortunately this is the only time we get to do this. So we're gonna stop the rock in mid-air so that we can turn and go straight to Tropical Jungle. Tropical Jungle is a very, very... you just telethrow once and you win. In the same vein as one of the stages later in the run, where you just kind of... Stage is open enough where you can just telethrow straight to the end. So usually this is a very consistent stage.
Yeah.
Keyword usually.
Like this Lotus will help me jump.
Some spaghetti can happen. We're hoping that doesn't happen. Okay, get on the bomb. This looks good. I hate when that guy skids.
Also, I'm holding the camera up to reduce lag when I'm passing by those enemies that are spawning.
Yeah, there's a lot of lag in literally all versions of Tropical Jungle. It's like the Xbox 360 just cannot handle it. And now another important thing to note is Lab is going to hold X on this save prompt, or lack thereof. Oh no, you do have save prompts. Okay, so he's holding X on the save prompt to do another input buffer like we did in Crisis City. This is to break some automation at the very start of Wave Ocean Blaze so that we can basically skip the entire level. Blaze has a homing attack-like move, and the thing about homing attacks in this game, at least with Blaze and Sonic, is that if you lock onto something and miss your target, you'll actually just fly infinitely until you hit anything. So here we're going to set our homing attack up to lock onto the loop, then whiff, and then we're going to hopefully hit an invisible wall way later in the level. Ooh, angle was slightly off. That's okay, the skip is literally at the very, very beginning of the stage, and we have 5 total attempts to do it. So we're going to realign ourselves, jump, fire claw.
What the hell was that?
Yeah, that was a weird one.
Can it be true?
I
need to find silver fast.
This should work.
Alright, and there we go. That is called Cave Skip. So we've turned this 1.5-minute long level into about a 40-second level, which is pretty hype. Unfortunately, the only time we're able to do that is Blaze, and I think Sonic does it in Dusty Desert, but I don't think there are any other loop launch shenanigans in his story either.
No.
Which is pretty unfortunate, because it's a really cool trick. Actually, doesn't he have a loop skip in Radical Train? Anyway.
Shadow does.
Not important.
Not important.
Not important. Yeah, that was Wave Ocean, and now, this is where we get into the no credits warp split. After Wave Ocean Blaze, there's a bunch of spaghetti you can do where you talk to an NPC and then die, and then enter a mission within a mission, and then the game is just like, what is happening, and places you at the credits, but obviously we're not going to be doing that. So this is normally where you would go talk to Lord Regis, and he would force you into a mission. But there are some very, very conveniently placed boxes I don't know why they put boxes there. There's literally no reason for them to be there. But we're going to use them to clip through a wall and skip the mission and go straight into Dusty Desert.
Maybe I'll talk to some people in the town.
We're not talking to anybody. Sorry, Silver.
He's lying to you. Again, literally 0 point in those boxes being there. Why are they there?
For the skip.
Oh, true. Yeah, so we just kind of put the box in as far into the corner as we can. Walk into the corner, lift. Ooh, that was sketchy. It's okay, new box time. Lift, and we're pushed through the ceiling, and we can just fly on straight into Dusty Desert. Now, Dusty is probably the hardest stage in the run, probably. There are a lot of moving parts here. This is normally like a 9-minute stage casually, and we're going to do it, hopefully, in less than a minute. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to walk forward and grab a pot that's on our left. This is the pot we're going to use to get out of bounds. Important thing about getting out of bounds here is that the pot needs to be bottom up, or else we actually don't get enough height to get out of bounds. Oh, it's going to be finicky. Oh, we got the queen. That's fine. So he's going to place the pot bottom up and raise it through the roof like we did before. And then he's going to grab that pot and try to force it out of bounds by holding it while the wave pushes it. An important thing to know about Silver's object mechanics is that objects cannot be damaged while Silver is grabbing them. So the wave doesn't destroy the pot, it pushes it out of bounds, and now we are free to... Oh no! Oh, the pot respawned, so we can quickly go back here, grab the pot again, and do that skip again. Small wave clip out? Oh no, the small wave isn't going. So, that was a very clean backup. I didn't even think to do that. I definitely would have restarted. So from here, there is actually kill planes out here. For some reason, when they made this stage, they just made it and then surrounded it in a box of kill planes. So if we go too high, there is actual risk of death. But if you toe the line, you don't die. So that would have been a clean Dusty if it hadn't been for the unfortunate pot death.
Yeah. Whatever.
But what can you do? It's Dusty Desert. The thing with that stage is if you just mess up one thing, it's like you very, very likely have to restart. Everything needs to go your way in order to get a good time there.
Now we have some furniture.
Yeah, it's true. We're gonna pelt a 15-year-old blue rat with tables. And lots of them.
It's really cool. But we can't do it too fast.
Yeah, so this is a mission, or a stage, I guess, in which skipping the S rank is important. So Lab is going to aim for a 13-second time without grabbing any rings. Ooh, that first one's a little low. This should still be fine. Oh, yikes, this is like a 15, I think. Oh no, controller death. That's fine. So, we got the 18, 19, but notice he's going to get an A rank here, and the important thing about that is getting an S rank adds an additional gold medal to the result screen. So, it's a 5.5 second unskippable animation that, so if you can avoid an S rank in less than 5.5 seconds, you save time. So, normally getting a 13-second time without picking up any rings is the most optimal way to do it. If you get a 12 or lower, you get the S rank and therefore lose time. Now, here is the part of the game where the game really, really wants us to get this upgrade that allows us to do like this ground pound move and it'll stun enemies and stuff. But that is actually very disadvantageous. We do not want to get that upgrade. So we're not going to. We're just going to head straight to White Acropolis and do a little bit of spaghetti with a sign.
We're not quite sure how we found this, but we did find it.
It is a mystery.
Shout out to Focus for messing with this sign and stuff.
It just kind of, you just kind of put the sign on the wall and you just kind of walk through it. It's great. Because the old method sucked.
Yeah, you had to go all the way across town to grab a box, go all the way back, but this is way more convenient.
So we're gonna put the sign, face it towards the wall, put it in between the lasers, and just walk through.
Yeah?
Have a jolly old time. So that skips the shock bracelet, which will be important a few stages ahead, because it frees up our X button for something that we're gonna be able to do later in the run. This is White Acropolis. This is also a very brutal level. There's one telethrow at the beginning of the second section that's like ultra important. If you hit it, you save like 10 seconds. If you don't, you cry. So the time swing on this stage is pretty big. Section 1 doesn't really have a lot going on. There's a trick at the end, which saves a bit of time, but it's frame perfect and very risky. If you miss it, you're probably dead. So, probably not going to go for it. You do have the legendary plus 12.5. You have met the conditions.
Yeah.
Let's go. Alright, let's see.
Nope.
Ah,
Oh, yeah, I went for it.
unfortunate.
I went for it.
Yeah, it
Hello,
didn't look
I
like
did.
you did. So that trick is what's known as an AFC. There's a single frame where you can do this this spinning claw move, and you jump, and you basically use two versions at once, which preserve your speed and allow you to go super fast and clip through the door instead of doing the combat.
Yeah, you preserve the speed from the second dash panel I
Here's
heard
the entrance to
on the way
Eggman's
to
base.
that combat section.
So the all-important telethrow is coming up. It uses this ball right here. The thing about this area is that there's a giant ceiling, so we can't like go out of bounds and skip it. We need to kind of fly within the bounds of this area. It looks like that's good. Yeah, let's go. So then we just kill this enemy, and then do one more telethrow, and then we're done. That was a pretty clean White Acropolis. I don't want to jinx it, but yeah, let's go. That was pretty clean.
That's really good for my standards. 142?
Yeah, 142 with no AFC is nice. That section 1 was especially clean.
That was easy.
I'm very happy with that White Acropolis.
No, it's not yet. It's the next. It's next. This is another bad boss. All of the bosses in Silver Story suck. This one is Count to 6 Simulator. So this boss is again cyclic, and it fires a bunch of missiles at you as one of its attacks, and we are going to pick up all of the missiles and try to manipulate its cycles well enough to kill it in one go. So it's going to fire these missiles. We're going to pick all of them up. And then we're going to fire 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's one cycle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's the second cycle. And then we're going to fire 5, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then wait for it to begin firing the missiles. Fire the last one. And then pick up the missiles again and do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That was a really clean Genesis.
Yeah, that was nice.
And then we just have to wait for like 10 seconds while this thing just kind of flies down. I think it's like literally impossible to die here. So like, what is even the point?
I don't know, I just
Wow.
went anyways.
Congration, you done it.
Yeah,
Perfect.
Protopath's pretty good.
Yeah.
Have we got any donations for this next one?
I don't think so.
Crap.
This is mission 12. This is where you play as Amy. It's very slow. It's very boring.
They-
There's not much to say.
They're really dirty from Sadix. It's not okay.
Don't look.
Don't look. You saw Spacebar and Pasta probably yesterday. This is. I'm going as fast as humanly possible. Full disclosure.
Yeah. This is Amy. This is the experience. We skipped her in Dusty Desert, but this is completely and utterly unskippable. We've tried, trust me. We have tried. There is literally no way to skip this mission with what we currently know about the game.
Nope.
We just have to accept her and her very unfortunate moveset.
You have to get startlingly close to any enemy here to damage it.
And if you get hit, you just lose 2 seconds.
Yeah. You break this box and spot both of those guys. A little bit more efficient. You get really close to this guy, you can double hit him.
Oh, that was almost a 4. That was really clean.
That was nice.
Almost a 49. Thank you, Witherman, for the donation.
And now for the Heart of Woohoo! Or the Heart of Wind.
Yes, now this is where the story changes forever. We're about to pick up an upgrade called the Heart of Wind, which allows us to do a little bit of a dash. Now, if we press X at the end of the dash, on the last frame, we extend the dash by quite a bit. This is why we skipped the shock bracelet, because we can extend the dash for as long as we hold X. However, if we had the shock bracelet, holding X would lead to doing the shock bracelet move, which we very, very much don't want. So here we're going to do a little bit of hub world movement, and by that I mean walking.
A little bit
To,
of a
pick
brisk
up the
jog.
A little bit of a jog, yeah. Gotta get that cardio in.
Yeah, a little bit. This is where Sailor turns into the fastest hedgehog in the game.
Yeah, like, I don't think even, like, Mach 3 Mach Speed Sonic is faster than ETDing Silver. Here's a little preview. We'll see more of that in Radical Train. Hopefully. And here we're going to skip a normally required mission, Mission 11. It's Metal Gear Silver. There isn't a lot to know about it. You're supposed to sneak into the station, but we have other methods. Ooh, yeah, that was sketchy. And there we go. Thank God for there being collision out there.
Yeah. With the before the better.
And now we have a Radical Train. This stage is a lot like Tropical Jungle, where we just kind of telethrow once and win.
But it's
but
much funnier.
It's
much funnier.
It is much funnier because of the device we use to fly. But this this stage introduces a common theme in Silver going forward, which is telethrow into ETD. And yes, he is telethrowing off of a shovel. So here he's going to telethrow, and then he's going to... Ah, unfortunate.
Yeah, you got one shot at these. Really far out.
It leads to major time swing if you don't hit them. Because, again, ETDs are frame perfect. And then we use one last one to click through that door, and straight to the gold ring. That's normally, like with the old route we had with just ETD, that's like a 1 minute long stage. And with the ETD, you can do it in like 20 seconds.
Yeah, about 25, 30, depending on the day. Everyone has a split called the enemy, or a stage they consider the enemy. This is ours.
This is the enemy. This is Shadow the Hedgehog. It's the same basic concept as the Sonic fight, except you have like significantly less items to hit him with, and the items like to crash into each other more often. And sometimes they don't like to crash into Shadow, and they instead like to carry him halfway across the arena. Ooh, that was a clean first batch. So we just kind of have to pick up the items and hope they hit him, and hope they don't carry him halfway across the arena. Ooh. Yeah, those first 2 cycles were really good.
Yeah, after half health, he powers up, so we got a little bit of time.
This is... I don't want to jinx it yet, because it's not over. Let's go. That was a really clean shadow.
That was
37. Wow.
that was as good as you could really ask for.
Pretty much, yeah.
Perfect!
Like, pretty much nothing went wrong there. I think, like, 2 barrels total missed.
Insane.
But a lot of spaghetti can happen during that fight. It's very, very unfortunate.
Ooh, okay, that went better than expected.
Is that a gold?
No.
Unfortunate.
Yeah. I go to my favorite stage, Aquatic Base. Usually
Yeah,
there's so much shadow gameplay here. I don't know where it went.
Yeah, this is one of the stages where we actually don't use telethrow. Because it's all indoors and there are very, very few places to like properly make use of it. So this is the stage that shows off ETDs and Silver's general movement the best. In Sonic 06, if you have speed, you can pretty much clip through anything, and as we mentioned earlier, ETDing Silver is the strongest character in Sonic 06, so you can pretty much face that. Oh, these lizards are being bitches. That's okay.
The stun one on the way in. That was funny.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you did. That's hype. Yeah, that last ETD was giving you a bit of trouble. Because again, they're frame perfect. There's just kind of no avoiding that. And into section 2, we're going to be just showing more of how powerful Heart of Wind Silver is. Heart of Wind Silver solos all of fiction. It's true.
Yeah. Playing a bit of monkey ball.
A little bit, because there are a lot of kill planes around this room. There isn't really any place where we can clip out to try to dodge this. Except for right here. This is hope and clip. Oh, we didn't hope hard enough.
Yeah.
You can actually back up it if the ball stays in the same spot, but that did not happen there.
Wow.
Silver can like just barely jump over those lasers, so sometimes if you don't jump high enough, you can get caught and just lose 2 seconds and cry. Now, this combat here is actually unskippable. You skip most instances of combat in Silver's story, but this bit of combat directly spawns the goal ring, so there isn't any avoiding it. Is that one going to block me? It looks like that is a no. Oh! Yeah. With the blunder you had in section 1, that's actually, like, not bad.
Not bad at all. And no hope and clip.
That's true, yeah. So you lost, like, 25. Yeah, 25 seconds there.
Everything else is pretty alright, yeah.
So now we are warped back into the present, and we're going to be doing a very, very funny mission coming up. It's supposed to be an escort mission. There's this girl, she knows the secret, and we have to protect her from all of the Eggman robots invading Soliana Castletown. But the spawns for those robots are based on proximity from Silver, not from Anna. So we can just stay away from her, and none of the robots will spawn, and she'll just keep walking forward. And the mission ends when she gets to the end.
I'm going to stop Dr. Eggman.
Hey.
What?
Very important load screen coming up. You do 1 bit of dialogue, and then you load.
Yeah.
And then you do 1 line of dialogue, and then you load.
This is a recurring theme for the next couple, like, I don't know,
Hey.
Yeah.
several minutes.
It's very, very funny. So at the very start of the mission, we're going to jump back and hover so that just walk back. So Anna, none of the enemies are spawned currently, so Anna's just going to keep walking forward. However, in certain spots, if there are enemies behind her, she walks a little bit faster. So once she reaches this bridge, we're going to spawn enemies, and force her to run a little bit quicker. And then when she gets to the other bridge, we're going to spawn more enemies to make her walk a little bit quicker. This saves like
2 seconds?
maybe 3 seconds. Yeah, it's very, very little. But yeah, from there we just wait a minute. Very, very fun and exciting gameplay.
Oh yeah, there's invisible wall back here. Doesn't exist. What is this non-UCV there?
Yeah, I don't know what's happening.
There we go.
There we go.
We've loaded in the entire hub world. Objects.
Even NPCs.
Including this
Here's
guy.
Bob McFloaty. He's floating. Love him. And then that's the end of the mission.
Yeah.
Woohoo!
Woo.
Congration.
I done it. Yeah.
It's true.
Great! That was easy.
And now we have to get to trials. The secret that she was keeping was you have to do the trials in order to get into Kingdom Valley. But we want to get into Kingdom Valley, so that was actually very useful information.
Yeah, so now we have a bit of hub world movement before we do 3 missions in a row. Only 2 of them only one of them realistically matters. The other 2,
1.5 of them.
yeah. Try to hit an ETD off of that rock. Woohoo! And thus concludes the Enter Trial split. And now we have those 3 missions in a row. The first one has us do a bunch of combat to free Blaze from this really poorly designed box that she's trapped in.
Where did they get their hands on this technology? I don't know.
How did they capture Blaze? I don't know. But we're going to not do any of the combat, and we're just going to clip into the box, because the mission clears whenever you touch Blaze, and doesn't check for any of the combat. So we're just going to put this box up against the other box, and clip through.
Awesome.
Oh, we love controller death. Not close enough, but nudge it a little further, and there we go.
Thankfully, the game pauses when you have control issues.
Not on emulator.
No? Oh, depending.
Usually
Looks
not
like
on
I'm
emulator.
on a roll.
Anywho, this is mission 17, or the test of memory. The speedrunners is just, do you remember right, left?
Yeah, this mission is very funny because all it is you load in, you talk to the guy, you load out, you spend half a second touching a portal, then you load again, then you touch another portal, then you load again. There are like 6 load screens in this one mission, and all it is spending half a second every time to touch a portal. It's great. There you go. That needs an entire load.
And it's the same hub world area too, which is really funny.
Yeah, they did not need to use an entire load for that.
They really didn't. Sub 4.
That was the mission.
Sub 4, not sub 3 though. Messed up the second portal. We did.
Yeah, woohoo. Like, why?
Right.
Perfect.
Like, even casually, that mission is just, like, nothing.
Because
It's just, like, you talk to the guy. He's like, what do you think of when you think of the Iblis trigger? To go right if you think friendship, and go left if you think murder and bad things. And it's like, why? But here we're at the only trial that actually matters. This has us do a bunch of combat without any external objects. So we have to manipulate some robot AI into firing their missiles and other objects in the way that we want in order to do it quickly. Fortunately, unlike Sonic's combat trial, we do actually have rings here, so we're not really at any threat of dying.
The Roman missile trolley.
Ooh, we're gonna have to wait for that guy. That guy's scared. Grab a bunch of missiles here. Boom, 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 boom. Kill these hornets from far away so that they don't spawn their subordinates. And from here, this is the final wave. We're just kind of picking them off from afar with the remaining missiles that we have, and then we're going to go in and kill the last bits. That was pretty unfortunate, but
50 point ain't bad.
not a severe time loss because, you know, can't die. Can't die easily, at least. And now we've completed the trials, and now we are headed into Kingdom Valley, which I think is easily the coolest stage in the run. It utilizes a new trick that we, well, not new as in recent, but new as in it hasn't been used in the run before.
Oh, yes. Not this setup, though. Focus was doing the old setup when going for 41, or pushing world record. But that setup is terrible.
Oh, no, I didn't mean Sonic Skip. I meant Telelon.
Yeah, it's new to the run. It's really fun.
Yeah.
And if you thought it wouldn't be hilarious enough, it just gets funnier. The funny never stops.
It's true. So he's going to position himself on a rock, and he's going to jump and then try to grab the rock from afar. And once he's on the rock, he can move in a direction to get it moving, and then stun slap, and then lift the object to basically just force it to move up very quickly. I don't know why. It just kind of happens. That's very cool. It's called telelaunch, as you might expect. And now we get into the part of Kingdom Valley where there is actually a recent trick. Recently, I found a setup for a specific box telelaunch that skips having to switch to Sonic. Normally, or in the past, you would kill these enemies, switch to Sonic, and then run all the way back around, and then finish the stage as Sonic. But you can position one of these boxes on these pillars to get an angle steep enough to telethrow off of it, as seen here. So we're going to telethrow and go through this mountain.
There is an invisible wall here, but it's quite high.
And then the end of the stage is right there. So we just kind of telethrow our way there, and then ETD, hopefully. Let's go. It's a bit far away, so you're going to have to do a backup hover, but that was still a very, very clean Sonic skip. And now we have to do a little bit of combat, and then the stage is over. A bit low on action gauge there. That should be right. Where the hell did the other guy go? What? Oh, he's behind the box, asshole. There we go. That was a pretty clean Kingdom Valley, all things considered.
Not bad, yeah.
Looks like I'm on a roll.
What the heck was
Oh,
he doing
it
behind
seems
the
our-
box?
It seems our estimate has been changed to Sonic Heroes.
Awesome.
And now we enter Flame Core, the last main stage of the run. We're going to be seeing another box telethrow. This time we're going to position it on an empty item box. And then we're going to do some movement shenanigans with the ETD.
Yeah,
This stage is kind of a nice little package of everything you've done throughout the run, and it's a very, very fitting final level.
also kind of hard.
Yeah.
Go big.
So we collected the item box. We're going to position the box on the item box, and then we're going to win video games. Let's go, we hit BTD. That one just feels bad to miss. I don't know what it is. We hit this. Unfortunate. There we go. That one's really important too because that door, the door for that combat section is one of the few doors in the game that is like basically impossible to clip through. So we just go around instead. Nice. Yeah, the meteors falling from the sky here are literally entirely random, and you can get hit over this gap. But we didn't.
But we didn't. We're fine.
Yeah, if you get hit over that gap, you just die. There's like literally no way to recover.
Yeah, you just have to restart the stage because you don't really take checkpoints in Silver Flame Core.
In any flame core, really.
Depends on how you play it.
So now we are in section 2. Again, another very, very indoor section. There is a telethrow, but it's pretty risky, so most runners don't go for it and instead opt to do plain movement with the teleport dash.
It's worth noting that getting hit in the air does not lose you 2 seconds.
Yeah, which is very, very nice for damage boosting. Like there. Nice, just Silver turning invisible.
Let's see it.
He's a man of many talents. He also is a stealth hedgehog. As evidenced by Mission 11 that we skipped. And now we're in the final stretch. We clip through this door, and then there's this huge like section with this giant ball of flame that we have to like that'll like periodically do attacks, and we have to like move around platforms slowly. But instead, we're going to hover over and have it hit us in the air, and immediately after, we're going to pick up our ring so that we can do a double damage boost in order to clip through this door. This is a bit tight, but it looks fine. Let's go. And that was Silver Flame Core. All things considered, pretty clean.
Yeah, 238 isn't bad.
Perfect.
People could check before these. Pretty good.
And now we have the lottery.
If
Have
you're
you ever
lucky.
wanted to lose 50 seconds at the very end of your 40-minute run? Then this is the boss for you. This boss is Iblis Phase 3. This is again entirely cyclic. And has immensely more RNG than the first phase did. So there are a bunch of scripted hits that are already on the platform that we're on. And then he's going to fire a bunch of random hits at us, which we have to pick up, and then hope they don't explode, and then hope they hit him. There are 3 layers of RNG with this. Sometimes the scripted hits don't hit, sometimes the random hits you don't pick up, and then sometimes the random hits don't hit. And we need 3 hits from these random hits in order to guarantee a 220, which is considered a pretty average time. If we don't get those 3 hits, we get a 310, which is very bad. So there's the second batch right here, and this is also the last batch. This looks pretty good so far. I think this is pretty safely in the 220 territory. But if you get more than 3 random hits, you can actually get a sub 2, which I don't think we're on pace for here.
No,
I think this is
too off.
unfortunate. But yeah, so you can either gain 20 seconds or lose 50 seconds at the very, very end of your 40-minute long run. This boss sucks. I cannot tell you the amount of runs I've lost to a 310 Iblis 3. It's so bad.
But yeah, we are safely in 2-minute 20 range. What he's gonna do is gonna get rid of the platforms. You cannot get higher than the 310 because the next time you lost at the platform, you basically have nothing to stand on and just instantly die.
Actually, you can.
Can
You can get a 4 flat. I know this because on my 360 that I haven't played on since like 2015, my personal best for Iblis Phase 3 is a 410.
Oh.
I didn't know it was possible until like 2 weeks ago when I booted up my 360 for the first time in like 6 years.
Well, you know, okay, time ends when this last hit connects.
So he's gonna take his sweet-ass time and throw the God Puff at us, completely ignoring the fact that we have psychokinetic powers and have been throwing puffs at him literally this entire time. And that is it. 45:22. What a time. For a marathon, that's sick.
That ain't bad. Endgame was pretty good too. Can't complain.
Can't complain at all. That was the, probably the buggiest story in Sonic 06. I hope you enjoyed. Sacer, thank you for having us, and, yeah. You got any words?
Yeah, I'd like to shout out, the 06 crew, both past and present, for helping me learn this game over the last 2.5 years. It's been a great experience. Focus, Nick, Gordon, everyone involved in helping me learn any category, really. Shout outs to Sacer again for having these events. Really awesome that we get to showcase what we do to other members of the Sacer community. Shout outs to Rev for being an awesome commentator. And shout outs to everyone here for being awesome, tuning in, and enjoying the ride.
And watching the spaghetti unfold.
Yeah.